Meet Dr. Clifford Stumey, a PhD professor who is great at getting YouTube views, but struggled with the crucial part, turning those views into actual income. And after our first call together, literally just one call, he was making over $25,000 per year more with almost no effort whatsoever. And although Clifford doesn't want to reveal the total amount of money that he makes, because a lot of people are shy about that, let's just say he's making multiple six figures a year at least from his YouTube channels. And if you're getting decent views, but your bank account doesn't reflect your audience size, Clifford's story will show you exactly what you're missing. Even if you think YouTube is just a hobby, even if you're worried that YouTube won't be able to be a full-time income for you, we have a step-by-step roadmap to make YouTube your most valuable business asset. Now, Clifford runs multiple YouTube channels in the education space, specifically focusing on helping people navigate college degrees and higher education. And what's interesting about Clifford's case is that he already had the hardest part figured out. He knew how to create content that attracted viewers, but like many content creators, he was missing the critical piece of the puzzle, monetization strategy. And this is actually incredibly common. In fact, there are influencers out there and YouTubers that have millions of subscribers and they're broke. Just as an example, Boogie2988 went on a podcast tour and he's a YouTuber that has nearly 4 million subscribers, and he revealed that he was making less than the average income for an American with his 4 million subscriber channel. And most YouTubers out there are really good at getting views, but they are terrible at properly monetizing. And as a fellow doctor, Clifford had the expertise and credibility, but wasn't positioning his knowledge in a way that converted views into income. So let's hear from Clifford about his situation.
Hey, my name is Clifford Stumey. I've got a couple of different YouTube channels, but something I've always struggled with is turning the views that I'm pretty good at getting actually into dollars, which can be a lot trickier, but is actually usually the end goal that you're aiming for with a YouTube channel or something like that.
And this is one of the most common issues that I see with content creators, especially those in education niches. They create valuable content that helps their audience, but they're missing the strategic elements that turn that goodwill into business results. And in Clifford's case, he had several monetization methods in place, but they weren't optimized or aligned with what his specific audience was actually willing to pay. So the solution wasn't about creating more content or growing his audience, it was about implementing a smarter monetization strategy with the audience he already had. So here's where we focus our strategy with Clifford. First, we analyzed his audience's behavior to identify their true pain points and buying triggers. Then we restructured his offer to better align with what his viewers actually wanted to pay for. Next, we implemented what I call the cash code system to strategically mention his offer within his existing content. And finally, we diversified his offerings and we optimized his funnel to create conversion rates without needing to create additional content. So he made a change that took him literally 30 minutes, and this immediately resulted in an extra $24,000 a year in income. And the other changes that he made down the line resulted in a lot more. And the results came quickly once Clifford implemented these changes. Let's hear about the immediate impact that this had on his business.
But recently, I was able to chat with Shane and do some work with him. He gave me a ton of really, really great advice that actually basically made me something like $24,000 more per year without really having to do much of anything.
And the $24,000 was just the beginning.
And honestly, based on the advice that he's given me and some of the action steps going forward that I'll be taking as a direct result, that number is probably going to go up significantly.
Now, one thing that made Clifford's case particularly interesting is our shared background in academia. When you work with someone who understands your unique perspective and challenges, the strategies can be tailored precisely to your situation. And this is why I believe in the power of context-specific advice rather than generic YouTube tips. I was very familiar with the coaching space and helping people get a result when it comes to making money online or just making money in general. And let's hear Clifford talk about our connection and why it mattered.
Shane knows what he is talking about. He's been around for a while, and I know this because he and I both share niches. I found out that he had a doctorate and I've got a doctorate. So we have some things in common. And so it was really, really great for me to get to chat with him.
And people like Clifford who come from a scientific background like I do really appreciate my scientific and methodical approach to content creation and monetization. And beyond the immediate financial results, working with creators like Clifford is about sharing the behind-the-scenes strategies that aren't obvious from just watching successful channels. There is a method to what might look like YouTube magic from the outside. And let's hear Clifford's perspective on these additional benefits.
That's just one small example I gave of a way that he's helped me. There are a lot of, not only tangible, but intangibles that I've also gained from viewing how he does his work and then getting to talk with him about how all of that happens behind the curtains and figuring out his process.
Now let's hear Clifford's final thoughts for anyone considering this approach for their channel.
I think he's a super cool guy. And he really does know what he's doing. So if you're sitting on the fence at all, I would definitely recommend checking out his coaching and trying to get the chance to work with him. Totally worth it.
Now, Clifford's transformation shows how the right strategy can dramatically increase your income without requiring more content creation or a bigger audience. Even if you think your audience watches but doesn't buy, even if you're worried that you won't know what to focus on to make YouTube and YouTube monetization successful, our framework will help you create content that converts viewers into high-ticket clients and revenue. And if you're a content creator who's getting views but you're not making the income that you want, my team and I can help you implement the same strategies. So click the link in the description to book a free demo call. And on this demo call, we will give you an incredible amount of value. We'll figure out what your current situation is, figure out what your goals are, aka your desired situation, make a tailored plan to get you from point A, which is your current situation, to point B, which is your desired situation. And then at the end, we'll see if we're a good fit to work together. But either way, whether we work together or not, you're gonna get a ton of value out of this call. And that is my guarantee to you. And if you enjoyed this case study and you wanna hear a longer, more detailed one, check out how we help Davis get to 100K per month on YouTube by clicking right here.